Hello everybody, and welcome to episode 46 of Weird Mind Newsroom. And this week, we got a small selection of new releases, a couple trailers, and a few new news stories for this week. So, we're not going to waste too much time with this introduction, and let's get into what came out this week.
Monkey!
So starting off on the first of the two releases in films of this week is with the directorial debut of a well-respected actor and a collaborative effort with a new master of horror director, as Dev Patel and Jordan Peele have teamed up to bring an all-new action-based film inspired by the stylings of John Wick with The Monkey Man. Now this will follow Kid, a young man who is used as a punching bag and beaten bloody by popular fighters for cash, and soon after years of suppressed rage and discovering a way to infiltrate the enclave of the city's sinister elite after they've killed his mother when he was younger, and as the drama boils over, his mysteriously scarred hands unleash an explosive campaign of retribution to settle the score with the men who took everything from him. Now, reception on this movie has been very well received for its action, its choreography, its dedication, the cultural roots to it, and a great story as a successful directorial debut for Dev Patel, with some complaints on some pacing issues in the first hour and maybe bits with the story or cultural relevancy in some aspects. But if you're up for a new action film, then you can check this film out now in cinemas. And for the last of new releases in the films of this week, we're asking you to get down on your knees and confess your sins. With another film of a horror based on the basis of religion undertones, we have received the prequel film to a series of films that has been around for half a century, the newest entry of The First Omen. This will follow a woman who begins to start questioning her own faith when she starts to uncover a terrifying secret conspiracy to bring about the birth of the evil incarnate in the city of Rome. Now, reception of this film has been surprisingly decently received, with its praise for being an improvement on this series of mixed results for its tone, its setting, story, and probably some scares, with some critiques probably here and there in its message and story, or some scares and stuff like that. But if you're up to confess those sins and say them hymns, then you can check out this new film now in cinemas. And one last release that I completely forgot about was coming out this week until I came across it on some story, is a surprise TV series that we're seeing a new take on an adaptation of a popular novel from the 1950s and some share of adaptations, with a new miniseries simply entitled Ripley. Now, this series will follow a grifter who is drawn into the world of wealth and privilege after taking a unique job in Italy. But to seize the life he wants, he must build a web of lies. Now, reception on this miniseries has garnered some very well received reviews, with a little bit of a divide as more people have checked this out the series, though the most glowing praise is mainly going to the performance of the main lead in the form of Irish actor Andrew Scott. And if you want some new sense of thriller to soak up, then you can check out this full miniseries now on Netflix. Of all that, that's all the new releases that we have for this week.
Ew, ew, ew.
Now, on the trailers, technically this episode did release earlier this week, but since it was only shown really more in the US and we got mostly just a one-off time, we only see it there and then it's not going to appear till when the series comes out. We did get some excellent April Fool's prank with like recreations of 3 episodes of the first season in puppets forms. I will include it just for this instance, but we have received a sneak preview to the upcoming second season of Smiling Friends. Now, the preview is mainly on the first episode of the season, where Charlie and Pim will come across Alan spraying a PS1 looking character outside the office in the form of Gwimbly, a character who was quite a fucking fan favorite now on the internet as of late, you know, the likes of Mr. Shrimp and Mr. Frog from the first season. And Pim and Alan are going on an adventure to help the gaming icon get him back into the spotlight. And I think the way this series blends the 2D animation with the live action tones and the PS1 aesthetic is actually really well done. Where other shows it will look really uncanny, where in this it just fits because like this world is just so wacky and weird. And I have seen this episode. This episode is actually really good and funny shit. Like, it's super funny. And you know, it's essentially, we're going to get a lot more doses of Smiling Friends, was a positive to me. And we know now when we're getting it, as the season's now premiering on May 12th, and this time in a worldwide release as well. So that's a positive to me. And just when you thought we were be taking a break from talking about twisted versions of beloved IPs and was safe to go back into the woods, along comes a new film from the planned timeline that will see a more fucked up version of a film that had a dark undertone to it as we received a brief teaser for the next movie in the franchise of Bambi, The Reckoning. Now, the plot is very scarce, as the focus on this film is that we will be seeing the deer all grown up and out for blood and revenge to find and kill the hunter who was responsible for the death of his mother all those years ago. And he's on a, you know, craze-filled rage. Now, all I got for a focus on from is the hunters having a simple chat, and then a deer who is big mad and maybe could turn out decently received like the recently released Blood and Honey sequel, but I'm sure we'll find out down the line. Has been labeled that apparently we're getting this film in the fall of this year, so we'll have to see when that does come out. Now, from a creature of the forest to a creature close to us humankind that we have revolved over time, as we received a new extended clip trailer for the upcoming film of Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. This film will be set, of course, 300 years after the events of War of Planet of the Apes, and we'll see that apes have evolved to rule the lands while the remaining elements of civilizations become more feral and have been hunted down to be put into labor. And a young ape named Noah will go on a journey with a human girl named May as they discover the teachings of the original ape leader of Caesar and stop the new leader Proximus Caesar from preventing his teachings and protect the remnants of human technologies that last in this world. Now, as I've seen more and more of this film, the more exciting I've become for this movie, and while I have my worries given that it's not with the same people that made the recent trilogy, I do hope this will be on the same level as that fantastic trilogy as well, which I will talk about soon enough eventually. I'm sure we'll find out the outcome when this film releases in just over a month's time on May 10th. And the final trailer for this week is a film that I've discovered was filmed in my hometown of Dublin and has a rising star from an Irish essence as well, and will show that small children can be proven to be real monsters. I can totally understand that as we see the new trailer for the new horror comedy of Abigail. Now, this film will follow a group of strangers who have to watch over Abigail, the daughter of a powerful underworld figure, for the duration of 24 hours for them to walk away with an even split of around $50 million. But it's soon discovered that this is not going to be that simple, as they soon learn that this little girl is a lot more powerful and sinister than it seems to be at first glance. Now, I remember seeing the first trailer for this and thinking this first was a simple kidnapping film, but then the reveal of the little girl's supernatural abilities got me more hooked, and learning his rising Irish talent is in the role is more than enough. When I've heard from the previews a few days ago in the local cinemas, it sounds like a great piece of entertainment. I don't have to wait too long either, as this film will be sinking its teeth into the cinemas in 2 weeks' time on April 19th. Now, of all that, that's all the trailers for this week.
What's in your wallet?
So starting the news stories from this week is some of the newest editions of the casting news in a week of announcements and dates. And we are delving into some category of news in the realm of the MCU, a company that I've been very quiet in terms of news stories for about 2 months now. Now, the last time we actually talked about this company is in relation to this casting news, as we had known in an iteration that we were eventually sometime next year getting the first family of the Fantastic Four. And it was the last piece that we actually talked about them announcing the casting along with a trailer for the new Merc with a Mouth movie that includes Pedro Pascal as Mr. Fantastic, Vanessa Kirby as Sue Storm, Joseph Quinn as the Human Torch, and Ebon Moss-Baccarat as the Thing. And it was the question about who else will be joining the team, with some new additions most associated with the group. And it seems to be the case that we're getting another addition, a bit of a change up from the usual choice. As we announced earlier this week on around Tuesday or Wednesday, that we will be seeing Julia Garner taking on the role of the Silver Surfer. Now, too many people were confused, and some jumped to the usual stigma of, oh, Disney making it woke. Or as South Park Pandaverse says it, put a chick in it and make it gay, by swapping the gender of the comic character, but it seems most only recognize the characters mainly from the original 2 films in the 2000s and possibly the cartoons. And if you looked into the comics that more, you will learn that there is a female Silver Surfer in the form of a character named Shala Ball, a character who initially started as a love interest of the original Silver Surfer of Norrin Rad, and both lived on the planet of Zenlob before she was taken to Earth by Mephisto, or the version of the devil, and the planet destroyed by the Galactus. When she returns, obtains the element of power cosmic, which gave this character Silver Surfer his powers. Then the character has played both a hero and villain over the course of its 60 or 70 year frame since appearing back in the late 60s, and you know, they do have some connections with Galactus as well as the more popular character of Victor Von Doom. And it's unknown right now if she'll play a hero, an anti-hero, or a villain currently, but I'm sure more time as we see continuations on, we'll learn more about it. But I think honestly the casting choice of Julia Garner is not a bad show, given it, especially given the case she did win some awards for her the Netflix series of Ozark, so I think it might be worth a while, and hopefully we'll see this over time and we'll be bringing more and more obscure characters to the MCU and, you know, appeal to a lot of people, like, you know, obscure characters become fan favorites, but we'll have to see when that film does come out. What are your thoughts on this casting news, and do you see anyone else in particular of known characters from the Fantastic Four making an appearance in this movie. And if you had the choice, who would you have casted as the Silver Surfer? Let me know what your thoughts are down below. Now the next story will ask you to make a choice and open your mind, as we have received an announcement of a continuation to a long-running series. Now, one of the biggest significant films of the generation of film in general has got to be in the form of the original Matrix that introduced the world to Neo, Trinity, The One, Mr. Smith, Morpheus, and many more to come across its vast series. We have a standout original that it stood the test of time, a mixed response duology that completed the trilogy, and a sequel 20 years later that has since garnered a bit more of a divide since its release 2 or 3 years ago. And it all seemed to be a case of wondering if we had jacked into the system for the last time. That was until the announcement earlier this week, and it looks like we're heading back into the world of the Matrix for a 5th movie. Now, it was announced just on Monday, and from that point, not much else is known, or even the likes of any form of plot to this movie, but we do have some idea of who will be making it. Initially, the series was created by the now Wachowski sisters, and the previous film of Resurrections was just helmed specifically by Lena Wachowski. But for the time round, she will be stepping away from directing duties and instead be taking a role as an executive producer, and directing this will now be taken on from Andrew Goddard, who's known for the writing and executive producing of films like the Cloverfield trilogy, World War Z, and The Martian, as well as the directing duties from the small thriller hit of Bad Times at the El Royale, and will be directing and running this new film. As things stand, it has announced just be in development, but it has no planned current release date, and the likes of the main leads of Keanu Reeves or Carrie-Anne Moss will be making an appearance, or anyone else in the series, but I'm sure we will learn more about this whole ordeal sometime soon, and once I hear anything, I'll update you in a later piece. I would love to hear your opinions on this, and are you excited for another Matrix movie? And if you've seen it, what are your opinions on the first 4 films? First one's great, second, 2 and 3 are decent, fourth one I liked it back then. It's a bit mixed, but you know, I'll delve more into it later. But let me know what you think of it all down below in the comments. And the next on this list is staying with the company of Warner Bros, as we are now heading over to the realm of the planned DC universe, as we have a little update on one of the projects that we have known about for quite some time now. Since the beginning of last year, we've got an establishment that DCU is now being run by James Gunn and Peter Safran, and we have the likes of some projects already working along, including Superman, The Brave and the Bold, Creature Commandos, which is appearing out this year, a series on Amanda Waller, a new film on Teen Titans was announced recently, and of course, the focus of the story of today on the Woman of Tomorrow of Supergirl. Now, we have seen some small updates over the last few weeks from the establishment of the writer of this film by Ana Nogueira, who is also involved in the upcoming Teen Titans movie, and now we recently got the casting of the main lead in the role of upcoming Australian actress of Millie Alcock, who you may know from the Game of Thrones prequel of House of the Dragon. And since then has been a discussion of who else will be in this film and who will be taking charge of the directing duties. But we've now got some confirmation, at least on that side of things. Now, there had been a few names thrown around, including the Wachowskis, J.J. Abrams, and the most popular choice was with the Barbie director of Greta Gerwig. But it seems to be the case now that we may have a director chosen in the form of Craig Gillespie. Now, it is a case that this director has quite the acclaimed nature of films under his belt. There's 2 of his most well-known films, and recent as well. He directed also award winners, including the case of 2017's Oscar-winning film of I, Tonya, and the live-action Disney film, which also won an Oscar, for Cruella. Both movies, I will actually say, are very good. I will agree, I like Cruella a lot, and I, Tonya is a great movie as well. So I think it's a case that given he's also Australian, and Millie Alcock is as well, they may have find a vision with the script and performance of Alcock, so there is a chance that things may be working out well in the right direction. Now, I'm sure we'll learn soon enough of some of the other aspects of the project over the next few months, the likes of more casting, and when we start filming, and when we get a proper release date for this comes along. But once I do, I'll update you in a later video. What are your opinions on this director for this film, and who would you have got to direct the movie in particular if you had the choice? Let me know your ideas of choice are down below in the comments. And the final story of this week is mainly on the basis of talking more on some confirmation of release dates and announcements of some changes around, and this is of course coming to us from the House of Mouse with Disney. Now, they seem to be still in the midst of a shake-ups and just, you know, licking their wounds from last year, where a lot of their movies really kind of tanked. And just this week they released and confirmed the release dates for a few upcoming projects, with the likes of the areas of confirmed titles for the next 2-3 years, mainly a couple with just the normal original IPs they've had, franchising and stuff like that, but it's essentially for the next 2 years, from 2024 to 26, they'll give a few new announcements and dates of the big temple films confirmed for reporting. So, starting just the remainder of this year, we know in case the movies in this should be seeing no effect of change, with the big temples being, of course, the sequel to Inside Out in June, the third Deadpool movie with Wolverine in late July, the Alien film of Alien Romulus in mid-August, Disney's animated film release of this year being Moana 2 in particular, which also received a new look image this week, as well as the case of a first look image and release of the live action film of this year, which is Mufasa the Lion King prequel sequel. And yeah, it sure is a Lion Cub, one of the Lion Cubs of all time. Then as we move into 2025 is where we get some confirmation of at least two changes, with the first of a planned live action remake of the original Moana, a film that originally came out less than 10 years ago, and by the time this film releases will still be less than 10 years old, and is easily a really unnecessary film and probably just The Rock getting some revenue back after his last few movies have been underperforming. The recent confirmation of the release date for the third movie in the Tron franchise, Tron Ares, now got a release date of October 10th, 2025. Now, this will be joined amongst some of Disney's other big releases of the year, which includes the live-action interpretation of Snow White in late March, Marvel releasing a mixed selection with Captain America Brave New World in February, Thunderbolts in May, Fantastic Four in July, and the Blade film in October, I believe. And then animated side of things, we'll see the release of Pixar's new original Elio in June, which was at the time of recording supposed to be out a month and a half ago, and the case of Disney's return with a sequel to Zootopia in November of that year, as well as a return to Pandora with the third entry in the Avatar franchise in late December. So 2025 has a bit of a stacked year, we'll say. And then going into the final year, 2026, we have received a confirmation that we will be receiving the Mandalorian film of Mandalorian and Grogu from the galaxy of Star Wars on the 22nd of May that year, so going into Memorial Day weekend in the US. The following month, we will be getting Toy Story 5 on June 19th, 2026, and then on July 10th, we'll be getting the delayed live-action remake of Moana. It's also confirmed that we will be seeing the third film in the Frozen franchise in November of that year, as well as the planned first new film in the Avengers saga, which I don't think is no Kang Dynasty anymore, but I have no idea. That's apparently in May. On the likes of other projects, it's unknown what else is in the works. We could get another one or two Marvel films. There is apparently a planned Star Wars movie that could be that Rey focused movie that Christmas. There is another Pixar movie that hasn't also been given a confirmation of what it is yet. We'll probably find out D23 this year, as well as a few other Disney movies from like Fox and Searchlight and all that sort of stuff, but I'm sure we'll learn over time. Now, that's one big release project for the next 2.5 years, and a lot of them are very exciting, and hopefully they'll be very entertaining, fun, and appealing, and not, but most likely will be a lot of films and media, no matter what studio it is nowadays, will not be dogpiled on and given a chance of being a piece. But what are your thoughts on all of these release dates, and is there any in particular you are excited about the most? I know this year, at least Inside Out 2 and Deadpool are at least the big exciting ones for me, and then next year, I'm intrigued by the Captain America one at least, and the Fantastic Four one. That's at least in those ones, but there's probably some bits in there. Maybe Avatar. But let me know what you think of all down below in the comments, and with all that, that's all the news we have for this week.
Okay, I guess I can do one more for nothing. Ew, ew, ew.
And now all of that, this brings us to the end of episode 46 of Weird Mind Newsroom, and I hope you enjoyed listening to my ramblings. I'll give a few updates. I do have one or two reviews currently written up. I've got one on Aquaman 2, and I have one other one probably cooking the pipeline. I might do Finds of Freddy's or the Barbenheimer stuff, or Indiana Jones. I might do one of those ones, but I will do some other stuff like TV series and games. I have been looking as well a case with gameplays. I just need to focus on maybe one or two games, in particular with the PlayStation. I just need to get a camera for face cam, and I need to figure out for like capturing footage from like a Switch, PS2, PS3, Xbox One, Wii U, Wii, and all that stuff to like do more gameplays and collection wise, as well as PC. There's one particular game that's kind of an early build one made by someone special to me that I want to do like a special video focus on, but I'll get to that eventually. Rewatch-a-thon I'm gonna get to at some point as well. I just need to kind of focus my brain on stuff. Like, things have been all over the place, as I've mentioned plenty of times, the here, there, and everywhere, that I will get to it eventually. Just I gotta find the energy to do it, kind of thing, you know. Sometimes, you know, you want to watch a movie for entertainment, and sometimes just use it for work, but I don't know. And then you get long form videos and all other stuff coming soon, but that's really all I have for the moment. So if you enjoyed this video and would like to see more from me and more frequently, you can simply like the video and subscribe, as I mostly upload at least once a week with more new videos every time when I have the content ready to go, just when I'm in the mood and I have it ready to go. Share it around to people that might have seen my stuff and maybe they might like them as well. I'd like to hear your opinions and stuff, all the stuff that came this week. If you've seen any new releases, what are your thoughts on them? Do you like them, dislike them, you're indifferent about them? The news stories, I want to hear your opinions and all the things, like who would you choose a director, who would choose an actor, there, release dates, what are you excited for, all that stuff, as well as the opinions on the trailers, so I like to hear all that stuff, or even just like a conversation. So I'd love to, you know, build a welcoming community down below in the comments or just on this channel, you know. Like, I'm not scary looking, am I? Anyways, that's what we'll leave it for there for now. So I'd like to thank you all for watching, and I will always, as always, you all stay being wonderful people, because you all are wonderful people. Have a great day every day, and keep being you, because no one else can do what you do. And with all that, I'm gonna go probably, you know, get warm, because I'm still feeling cold from the rain. But yeah, thank you for watching, and I'll see you all in the next video. So take care everybody, and goodbye. Keep being you.